like days when I don't have to physically drive to work.
I know, it's so nice.
Commuting sucks, and I think the world has said no.
Mm-hmm. The world has said no.
No, we do not wish to spend. I don't know what the percentage is, but a large
30% of our lives.
Is that true?
Know. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
I believed you. I fully believed you. 30% of our lives. You don't see Jake Peralta spending. I mean, he's in the car when he's staking out, but like they live in a walkable city. You don't see him sitting in traffic. I don't even know why he has a car. I don't understand why he even has a car.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get into that. But listeners, Thursdays is our usual podcast recording day. And then unless there's some kind of like, some kind of conflict, we have to move that day around. But Thursdays is one of my work from home days where I'm at home making my own schedule, eating my own snacks, drinking my own coffee. I want every day to be like this, Sarah. Why can't I start every day working on my screenplay, getting down to work, getting down to work mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? I just don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like going into my office.
Well, you go in only like a little bit, right?
Once a week.
Yeah. I mean, is it nice to see people again, or are you just like, ugh?
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
It's not nice enough to drive 2 hours to see them.
Takes
I'm
you
very
2
sorry.
hours?
Well, both ways. So like 1 hour one way, 1 hour.
Same.
More like an hour 10. So like
Same.
2 hours 20 minutes that day. I don't know. It's not really worth it.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Welcome to the Adam and Andy podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
I'm your other host, Sarah.
And this is not a podcast about commuting.
No.
But it could be a podcast you listen to while you're commuting.
Yeah, let's
potentially.
Yeah.
I hope we're helping at least with the transition, or if you have been commuting, I hope that has helped.
I hope you listen to us while you work even.
Yeah, why not? Like work and listen to us and listen to us on the way to work and on the way home, and then we're just
oh my gosh.
We're just in your ears all the time. This is a podcast where we thoroughly immerse ourselves in the filmographies and televisionographies of our two favorite actors, Adam Driver and Andy Samberg.
It's televisionographies, Nicole.
A televisionography. I love it. So today we're gonna be returning to our rewatch of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It was a little bit of a weird journey. I'm gonna get to Adam and Andy news. Don't worry. I know I haven't gotten there yet, but I will. We started with season 1 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Then season 8, the final season, came out, and we were like, well, we have to watch season 8, right? So we took a little hiatus from the first season. Sarah has only seen a little bit of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so this is very confusing for you, I must imagine. But we took a little hiatus. Then we went to season 8. Then we watched Baking It. Then we watched the rest of season 8, and now we're back to season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I had forgotten that Charles got shot. Like, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the horse that was his rank. Anyway,
I don't think that was in. I think that was a bit. I don't think that was part of the episode he was in. Because remember, like, Terry, I remember now. Well, we'll get to it. Should we get into Adam and Andy news first?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want first, Adam or Andy?
Adam.
Okay. So Adam is he's in between movies right now, so he is, I think they're going to be starting filming the Ferrari movie in May. Okay. But he has been seen around, shockingly.
Really?
He's been seen around. So I did put together some visual aids today, so I'm going to share my screen in just a moment, but I put together some visual aids so that you could see some of the things that Adam has been up to. So let me just go ahead and share my screen here. And I have, for the listeners that are not watching this on YouTube, which you could if you wanted to watch us, we're on YouTube. Look for Critical Crop Top. That's the name of our YouTube channel, Critical Crop Top. And you can watch our faces. But if you're listening to the podcast, don't worry, I will describe what we're seeing. So the first thing here is Adam and Joanne hosted a art gallery, like an art event, like an art opening
Called
for
Ride the Tiger.
Ride the Tiger.
Oh my gosh.
The artwork of Colleen Berry and Will St. John. So apparently friends of theirs, I guess. And so they hosted an art gallery opening, which is apparently a very specific time, as you can see on the invite, which is what we're looking at here. 6 to 7:30 precisely.
Wow.
And that was on March 10th. So I don't yes, you were going to say something, Sarah.
No, I'm just like surprised that this invitation is available for everyone to see.
Well, as you can see, someone took a photo of it. There were actually lots of people who took photos at the event. Many over the shoulder. Here is a glimpse of Adam Driver. There was actually one woman in attendance who was clearly fangirling, and her friend kept taking pictures of her, and she was like, she looked very shy and just like overwhelmed that she was like in the same room as Adam Driver. It was very cute. And then here's a picture of Adam and I assume the artist standing next to a piece of art on the night of the opening.
Nice.
So,
they look so artsy,
don't they? They look very
so artsy,
like Brooklyn artsy, don't they?
Yes.
So that happened. And then the very next day, so this was on the 10th, on the 11th, Adam was in London at a fashion show.
Okay.
So at the
was
Burberry
he in the fashion show?
No, he was at the Burberry fashion show, which was like blew my mind. I mean, it doesn't blow my mind because
he's the Burberry guy.
He's the Burberry centaur. So of course, he has to, I'm sure he is contractually obligated to go to some of these events. And so what I decided to do was compile my favorite pictures of Adam looking grumpy at the Burberry fashion show. So here is Adam. I think this is him leaving the show in his very nice Burberry coat, trying to just disappear into the sidewalk, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was his goal.
Yeah.
And then this is Adam being forced to pose for cameras.
He's like,
I know, he has this very like, can we get this over with? Somebody on Twitter compared this to like when your teenager is like leaving for prom or something.
You're like, let me get a picture. They're like,
ugh, fine, mom. And they just kind of stand there. It's just very funny to me. I mean, he still looks amazing. Like his hair looks fabulous. Like his he's wearing all black, but his whole ensemble looks very nice. He looks great. Yeah. He just looks very grumpy. And it made me very amused at how grumpy he was about.
Yeah, there's actually my partner's mom took a picture of him as he's walking away to go to prom. It's like literally like he wouldn't even pose. He would just like is walking away.
Yeah. So so this is the only posed photo. Here is Adam just being very grumpy that he's watching a fashion show. There were a lot of pictures like this where he's standing there very stoically while all these like he's just like, you like, I look, we're all having a fun here. Like, I don't know what's really going on in his head, but I can't imagine it's something like, what am I going to get to eat after this?
It's more like, that looks like a comforter I'd like to snuggle under.
That's what somebody else said on Twitter, Sarah.
Really?
Exactly. Yeah, so listeners, we're looking at a picture of him like standing at the next to the runway, which I think they were set up like giant tables. Like the little stages looked like tables that you would sit at and have dinner.
Okay.
And then the models would come out and walk across the table. Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're just having a fun joke about what we think he might be thinking about. But yeah, he was brooding throughout.
Listeners, it does look like a quilt he could snuss. And
that's right. That's what I was going to say. I'm sure a lot of people who are on Twitter remember this dress that had the very, like the quilted dress. This is the picture of that. And I think he was standing next to Anna Wintour. That's who he was standing next to. And everybody was freaking out about that. And then the last photo is just a photo, like I think a photo probably for Burberry that was taken. I don't know. It's a professionally photographed photo of him on that day, and I just thought it looked really nice. So I'm sharing
He's
this.
also he looked kind of like the first picture. He's like,
He's broody, but that's how we like him. We like him broody, right?
that's how you like him.
Okay. Well, I do like him broody. That's true. I'm not gonna deny that. And that's all I've got for Adam. So
Okay.
he's been jet setting. A lot of people hoping he would show up at the BAFTAs because that was like the same night, but he was out of there right after the Burberry show. Which I didn't really expect him to be at the BAFTAs. He doesn't really have any reason to be there. I mean, yes, Lady Gaga was there, but she was nominated.
Hmm.
And so I can't
So
think of
he
any
was not.
reason. Yeah, no, he wasn't because he's been snubbed by like every award show this season, even though he gave 3 amazing performances this year.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Okay, so moving on to Andy. Nothing really new going on. I did find this cool article about his project that he worked on, The Boys, that a diabolical that animation show. Remember that it's like an animated spin-off of The Boys show that's on Prime. And so I was reading a little bit more about that. So basically, the showrunners of The Boys they compiled this like group of people that they wanted to work with, and they basically were like, "You do whatever you want." They let the writer directors come up with whatever they wanted, and then they paired them up with a studio. So they're basically 8 sort of standalone short films or short animated films. Different animation studios did each one of them, sort of, which kind of reminds me of what they did with Star Wars Visions, which was different anime studios creating different Star Wars stories. And so I guess this is sort of a similar thing they did here. Um, so I just wanted to read you a little bit of information about Andy's uh, process. So it says that Andy Samberg wrote a drama about a man whose wife was dying of cancer. And when Steve On came on to direct, so he was the director of that segment, he had the idea to make the story Korean. So he wanted to take it in that direction. Here's the quote. He wanted to take it in that direction and made a compelling argument to pitch for that. Then we tried to support that as much as we could. This is the showrunner saying this, by getting a Korean animation studio, a Korean composer, and hiring 2 Korean leads. So a little bit more information about this story that Andy wrote. It's about a man whose wife is dying of cancer, and after collaborating with the director, they decided to make it a Korean story, and they had a Korean animation studio and composer and leads in that segment. So it sounds like, I'm curious. It sounds really different than his other work that we've seen.
Does it have a Korean director?
Yes, the director's
Okay.
Korean. That's why they decided to, or that was one of the I think that was the inspiration for going in that direction.
Cool.
I think we should watch it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's standalone.
If he
so
wrote it, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like we need to know anything about the rest of the show to even watch it. So I think we should watch it.
Wonder if he'll have any dad issues in there.
Let's see. Let's count the dad issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to watch it?
Yeah.
I think we should. So listeners, we're gonna watch Andy's segment from Diabolical, and we'll get back to you about that. I don't know if we'll devote a whole episode to it because I think it's pretty short.
Oh,
We'll
sure.
see.
Okay.
We'll see how long it is, how much there is to talk about, and then we'll decide.
Yeah, I missed the short part. I was hoping for a full length film
Well,
that you wrote. I would have been like, cool.
We're deep into Brooklyn Nine-Nine. No, they're
Yeah.
short. I think they're like 8 to 10 minutes
Oh,
or
okay.
something. They're not very long. I could be completely mistaken, but I don't think they're very long. So we'll see. If it's like 20 minutes, I guess we could probably make a whole episode out of that, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But I feel like shouldn't we at least get through Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 1? Or
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if we interrupt it again, it's just going to throw off my mojo.
We can't interrupt a season.
No, you're right. We could do it in between seasons. Okay. And that's all I've got for Adam and Andy news. That's it. Yay. So shall we talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Should we get back into it? So listeners, we're diving back in to Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 1. So if you are missing Brooklyn Nine-Nine now that it's no longer on the air, perhaps you might want to join us in rewatching. We are currently at like mid first season because I think there's like 20 something episodes, I want to say, in the first season.
I think so. Yeah.
So we're about a little bit more than midway through.
We're at episodes 13 and 14.
Yeah, 13 and 14. And I have to tell you, I had a little trouble like remembering where I was in time because we had been watching all of season 8. And then I was like, okay, all right. So Terry was not on the force because he was like having PTSD. He is having like PTSD. Well, not PTSD, but more like worry because he had the babies and like he didn't want to be on the. And then like Holt almost got shot and Charles jumped in front of the gunman and got shot in the butt. And I
I'd
had
forgotten about that. Yeah.
forgotten about all of that. I had forgotten that Charles wanted to date Rosa and I was weirded out by it all over again.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's just a lot going on that I had to
And
go.
of course, Jake and Amy were not a thing at that point.
But I do love watching their relationship develop, especially now that I know where it goes and where they end up. I'm actually super enjoying watching that play out. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I liked it before I knew where it ended up. Like, I guess I'm that kind of person that's like, I like the pursuit of, like, to watch the pursuit. But then when, like, you know that they're, like, in a stable relationship, it's like, okay. Like,
do you think that's because being in a relationship is boring or because people just don't know how to write compelling?
People don't know how to write compelling, like, at least they didn't in the last season. They didn't write a compelling relationship.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we can talk about that, I suppose, when we return to it. I think I see your point. There's like there's unknowns when there's the pursuit. There's more conflict.
More conflict. Yeah.
But I also think there's something to be said for a multifaceted portrayal of a long-term relationship and like that camaraderie but also like, you know, the conflict of like having to acquiesce to the other person's needs in order for them to feel fulfilled in life, which is what happens at the end of season 8 is that Jake makes the decision to leave the force, which is pretty huge. Anyway, we're not talking about season 8. Let's get back into season 1. So I'm glad that we are leading in with this because this episode 13, The Bet, is all about Jake and Amy's quote unquote bad date that they have to go on. And I got to tell you, I fucking loved this episode. It was top notch.
It was very tight.
It was tight. The jokes were good. The characters, like we've gotten over, I think like when a show starts, they're still trying to figure out like who the characters are. And like everybody's kind of extreme. Like I think when Jake started in season 1, if now that I'm recalling it a little bit more, that he was like very petulant and he's like still kind of immature, but I think like a little bit more multidimensional now, just like everybody else. Like Rosa was like really tough, but now she's got more like layers to her, and like Amy was really type A, but now she's got more layers. So it's just like as a sitcom figures out its actors and its characters, the show gets better. And I feel like it's really getting to the point where the show is really finding the characters for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, where did you want to start with The Bet?
What was the teaser, the stinger, the opening,
the cold
open? Yeah.
The cold open was Charles getting his Medal of Valor for getting shot in the butt.
Right. And the horses, like in front of, no, the horses,
Peanut Butter.
a higher rank than he
Peanut
is.
Peanut Butter. That's the horse.
Peanut Butter is the horse. He has a higher rank than Charles. That was the thing that I found most funny.
Oh, was that
the horse ranked higher.
And that he was like at the United Nations or something. Like later they were like, where's Peanut Butter today? And he's speaking he's at the United Nations. He's making it. But yeah, I think they were both receiving Medals of Valor on the same day, I think was the thing. So like, of course, like Charles is feeling kind of hurt about it, and because he, you know, the horse keeps stealing his spotlight, and Jake is like having a great time because he's kind of a dick. Jake is kind of a brat, you know, and he's like, the horse is pooping on stage.
Yeah. I would like to know if horses actually do get awarded medals of valor, because the thing is that I really don't like that horses are used in war or in battle.
Okay.
So I would want them.
What? I'm not saying that they can't get injured on duty as a cop, but horse cops are not riding into battle, right? Don't they just patrol the streets on horseback? Like I don't see them riding into battle. I just want to make that clear.
Yes. Okay, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean like this is a war horse. I didn't mean that. I just mean like I just meant like
they're mostly just going back and forth to the donut shop, right?
Here's what I don't like. I don't like that humans have used horses to carry them around because I don't think horses like it.
Okay.
Come at me if you're a horse person and tell me.
Tweet at us at Adam Any Pod.
I'm wrong. But I'm sure
you don't like horses being used for labor.
Used for labor.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah. So you must hate those carriages.
Combat.
You don't like the carriages. The combat specifically, though, because they didn't sign up for that.
No. There are lots of horses that die in war.
And ideologically, how do you know that horse aligns politically?
Exactly. They don't have a say. Exactly. Like, how can it be? So the horse isn't aware of being awarded a medal.
That's true.
But doesn't he deserve a medal if he did something that he was asked to do that he didn't have to do, that he was kind of forced into?
I hope he gets a lot of treats and pets. That's all that I can say. But yeah, I don't know anything about horses either. So tweet at us at Adam Any Pod. Do horses like to be ridden? I wouldn't like to be ridden.
Horses win awards.
I mean, I wouldn't like to be ridden in the way that a horse is ridden. Let me just say it that way.
No.
So Charles gets the medal. He also falls off the stage and then has to take painkillers. Yeah. And then he's like, the painkillers cause him to be overly truthful, which I thought was a great gag.
Truth-telling serum. Oh, it's true. That. It's true that I don't know about pain meds, but I know that like after the drugs from like a colonoscopy, like you can kind of like, not you, but like I do someone not to like the truth, like it's just very like blunt and like direct. I guess I've known someone.
I may have been scoped once or twice in my life. And apparently the last time that Chris was with me, when I woke up, apparently I told everyone in the room about my podcast and all the places that they could. I am not kidding. This is not a joke. I did not make this up for the show. I literally told everyone about my podcast and all the places that they could listen to it. I'm sure no one asked, but that was apparently on my mind immediately upon waking from anesthesia.
Yeah, this person I knew, he teased the nurse, like not in like a gross way, but just like in a like, like that's kind of embarrassing.
Were you there?
Yes, I was there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. So Charles is dropping some truth bombs, I think is what Gina says. I like that he was also just like Charles, but not like they didn't give him this. He didn't speak like he was drunk or drugged or anything. No. He was just Charles, but very like, I love that he had no inner monologue. Like he would say things like, I think Jake at one point is like, why are you still wearing your medal? They're like having a party for him at the bar. And he's like, I want to impress women at this bar. Yeah. Like it was just like, he was very no filter. And it was really funny to me.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy that whole storyline. And I think that it was, to me, I think the whole objective story-wise of Charles being a truth teller, obviously it serves some B plot, which was him talking to Rosa about jumping in front of the gun, and we can talk about that in a minute. But like really I think it was there to push Jake in this story to realize that he has feelings for Amy. Mm-hmm. But I guess we're getting a little ahead of ourselves because they've had this bet going on. And I to see who's the better detective. And they're keeping track of how many people get arrested, which a little problematic.
Yeah.
For me. And maybe not something a storyline they would have done in season 8, I don't think.
Yeah.
But in this time period, apparently that was not something that that didn't raise any red flags for anybody. Yeah. So yeah, whoever gets the most arrests wins. And what's on the line, Sarah, for each of them?
Oh, it's not just arrests; it's felony arrests.
Oh, felony arrests. Okay. I guess that's good because then they're not hassling regular people. I guess that's
Yeah.
at least okay.
Yeah.
I said, what's on the line? So if they win, what do they get?
So if Amy wins, Jake has to what I forget what something to do with the car. Does he
He
give up
has
the
to
car?
he has to give her his car.
Give her his car.
He has
Okay.
to give her his car.
And if Jake wins, then he has to take her on the worst date in the car.
He gets to take her on the worst date. I think that's
Mhm.
the point, is that he
Yeah.
doesn't just have to. He gets the privilege
Yeah.
of taking Amy on what he says is going to be the worst date she's ever had.
And why would that not raise any red flags with anyone in the
No one
precinct
seemed to
or with
be
her or with him or with I
no
mean,
one
except for
seemed
Charles. Charles saw it a bit at the bar, but no one the whole year that they had the bet was like, "Hey, do you like her?"
I'm gonna guess that everyone kind of sensed had knew it, but that maybe everyone had sort of decided not to talk to them about it.
Yeah, did you ever have people at work who like you knew that they were like
Fucking.
well, not just that, but like you knew that they liked each other. Like
Mhm.
let's just say before that, like where they just
Mhm.
like each other, but they're not. They claim they don't like each other, but
They
everyone
don't
kind of knows.
they are falling in love, but they don't want to admit it.
Like Jim and Pam.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
can't really think of anyone specifically that I know.
What about you?
But I do read a lot of fics.
Did you and Chris not know that you liked each other until like?
No, I pretty much was like, let's hang out. I would like to make out with you in the parking lot after work.
Oh, so you actually said those words?
No, but
okay.
I'm very direct.
Yeah.
So I'm not a like drop a lot of hints type of person, you know. I'm more like, let's hang out. And you know,
but it wasn't like a long time that you guys like knew each other before you knew that you liked him.
I mean, it was a restaurant romance, which means that it started out with making out drunkenly after work and then led to a relationship, as I think most restaurant romances that begin in a restaurant start.
Yeah.
But yeah, we like kind of went out a couple times, and then it kind of fell a bit apart for a bit, and then we started dating again like a couple months later, and then like once we officially were like dating, seeing each other, we I think we moved in together like 6 months after that. So it happened relatively quickly, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was anybody who was thinking, well, they won't lay at our workplace. Maybe. I don't know. It's been so long that I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I do
tweet
think
at Nicole if you worked with Nicole.
No, God, please
No.
don't. No, I don't want to relive those days. Thank you. But yeah, I think that sometimes there are people in the friend group. I mean, we have friends that have gotten together in our friend group, you know, that you like, you know, you kind of sense that they have a connection, I think. I think that's probably what was going on here, is that people were like, oh, why are they always fighting so much? I don't love the pigtails metaphor, by the way. We can talk.
No.
Charles, well, I don't want to get into, I want to talk, let's talk about the date first, and then we'll get to what Charles says. But so, and I know we're spending a lot of time on this episode, but I really liked this episode a lot.
This episode was good.
So Jake puts together a very elaborate fake date to take Amy.
$1,400 on credit.
Yeah, he is very irresponsible with money. Like, it's funny that they're married now, because now I'm thinking, like, is he still in crushing debt? Like, does she now have his crushing debt? Or did she come up with a spreadsheet about how he could pay down his debt? Like, how did this go? But so he throws a very elaborate wedding with like a choir. He makes her wear like this 90s prom dress. I don't know. How did you feel about him being allowed to like pick her clothes and what she can eat and how many times she can go to the bathroom? How did you feel about
I
that?
did not like that. I mean, I know it's supposed to be a bad date, but like that
Yeah.
felt like, I mean, this was pre Me Too.
Yes.
So
Yes, it was.
it just felt like wrong, and it felt like I would have been like, no, this is like harassment in the
Mhm.
workplace. Like,
It is walking a line. I think that they managed to stay on one side of the line because I don't think it would have raised any objections in this time that it came out, but also because it's also about the actors selling it. Like,
yeah,
at no point does Amy seem uncomfortable.
yeah,
Amy is totally on board the whole time. I guess we can only assume that Amy likes him too, I would say. I mean, that's the way I think we should interpret this, that Amy
yeah,
subconsciously, which is a dangerous kind of gray area when you're talking about this kind of stuff,
yeah,
that Amy wants to go on this date and just doesn't want to admit it. But at
yeah.
no point does Amy ever seem uncomfortable. At no point do any of
I
the other
mean, she
women seem
seems like she
uncomfortable
doesn't want to wear the dress and doesn't want to dance the steerage jig with
from
Jake, but
Titanic.
from Titanic. But like she doesn't seem like super uncomfortable. She just seems
No.
like, I don't want to do it, you
She
know?
seems like objecting to it, but not
Yeah.
uncomfortable. And I think that's what makes it work. Because if Amy, the character, if the actor or any of the other female actors had expressed any discomfort, then this joke would
Mhm.
not have worked.
Yes.
But somehow it does. Like, it is a little weird, but also like I think it's meant to convey that like he's trying to make this a bad date. I think that's the whole
Yeah.
joke. He's
Yeah.
trying to make this a bad date, but it ends up not being a bad date. It actually ends up being a really good date.
I'm glad that it didn't cross a line and that like you have to make out with me in the car on this bad date. Like that
They
would have been too
never
far. That would have
Yeah,
been too
they never
far.
he never put any physical limitations. Like, it could have just been completely platonic if they didn't actually have feelings for each other. Like, so he
Mhm.
makes her wear a silly outfit. He
I
does
didn't like
joke
that he
about
told her to turn around and show the bow on her butt. Like I just was
okay,
like,
okay, well, I get that, but also the bow on the butt was a classic 90s style,
I
and that
love
made me
the bow on
laugh.
the butt. Yes.
Can we
Yes.
bring back bows on the butt?
I would love it.
I think you would
Yes.
rock a bow on the butt.
Yes.
I'd like to bring that back. Um, the other thing that made me laugh really hard is that Andy was, or Jake, I keep calling him Andy. Jake was wearing like a suit with a bow tie, like a suit
Mhm.
from like the waist up,
Like a tux?
a tux, thank you, a tux, and then cargo shorts.
So they were long shorts too. They were
Lots of
one
pockets.
of those long ones.
Lots of pockets.
I mean, it's a bad date. Like,
Oh,
what
that
are you gonna
just
wear? That's like the combination of like what you don't wear on a date: cargo shorts and
and a
a
tux.
tux.
It's a formal cargo short is what it is. It made me laugh especially hard because my husband actually regularly wears cargo shorts.
My partner does too. Yes.
I mean, he would argue like, I mean, I have so many places to store things, so why wouldn't
Yeah.
I? I'm like,
Yeah.
Are you gonna roof? Are you gonna reshingle a roof? Like, why do you need to wear all this stuff? Um, so they go to the bar at part during the date. He said he was going to take her. I'll tell you what I objected to the most, Sarah. Just to circle back for a second, I objected strongly to Jake taking her to a questionable seafood restaurant because
Yeah.
because it's one thing to take someone on a bad date. It's another thing to give them food poisoning.
Yeah.
Like, that was like, I was like, oh God. Oh, I'm glad he didn't say a questionable seafood buffet, because then I would have had to turn it off right then, you know?
Yeah.
So they go to the bar. By the way, Amy looked really pretty in that 80s, 90s dress. Like, she did her makeup flawlessly.
Mhm.
She would have been the homecoming queen, I feel like.
Yeah.
Um, I had a lot of exclamation points in my notes here because I just had so much fun watching this episode. So they go to the bar where Charles is having his like party for his medal. And then while Jake and Charles are talking, this is when they have that conversation where Charles is like dropping his truth bomb, which is, so what does he tell Jake at the bar?
I forget.
It's the whole
What's he tell
pigtails
Jake?
thing.
Oh, that okay. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
says
So
that, yeah, you go ahead.
No, he says like, "What do little boys do to little girls on the playground? They
Mhm.
grab their pigtails and tease them because they like them, and they don't know
They
how else
pull
to
on them.
express them. They pull on them because they like them, and they don't know how else to express their feelings other than with aggression."
Well, he didn't say aggression, but that's
Well,
what's
no,
implied.
but that's yeah.
And Jake says, "Oh yeah, of course. Well, the pigtails, they're just right there. You have to yank on them." Um so I had a little bit of trouble with this. Like I
Yeah.
understand the comparison.
It's been
Um
made before. It's
it's
been
been
made
made
before.
before. It's not anything new. I don't like it.
No.
I understand where he was going, where he's like, "Oh," and I do think, how do I say this? I do think that both men and women tease each other when they like each other but don't know how to say it or don't feel comfortable
Mhm.
saying it, but I feel like it's healthy when you tease them in a way that makes them like creates a bond, and it's
Mhm.
not healthy when you physically yank on their hair.
Mhm.
And I
Or
understand this.
neg them.
Yeah, anything that makes people feel bad about themselves, or I just don't like it. And I know this is a joke and I know this is a sitcom, but I just like I got teased. There was a period of time where I got bullied and teased a lot. I know that surprised everyone because I'm like super normal and I really fit in well. But I got teased a lot. I'd say from like third grade to sixth grade, and at no time do I think any of the aggressors who were teasing me or throwing food in my hair on the bus or, kicking my shins after class. Like, I don't think any of them did it because they liked me. At least that's not my perception. I think they did it because they wanted to feel superior to someone and they wanted to feel better than someone. And so I guess I just object to the idea that boys will physically hurt or bully somebody because they like them. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, I don't know if you had anything else to say
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think aggression should be an indication that you like someone. That's an indication of an unhealthy kind of relationship.
Yeah, I think we should just like do away with that as an example generally. And just call it what it is, which is like you are picking on somebody and that's not cool. But I do the sentiment behind it I agree with, which is that Charles says, "Hey, maybe the reason that you're always teasing, maybe the reason you put so much effort into this date is because you actually like her and you want to go on this date." And I actually squealed because I was like, "Ooh, this is so exciting. I don't know how you felt, but I felt like, ooh, we're getting some juicy progress here."
Yeah.
Um, so then they end up getting called away by Holt because there's like some kind of stakeout they need to do. And this is where the date really gets good because the thing about them that works is that they're opposites, which is this whole opposites attract thing, but also they both love being cops. They love
Mhm.
being detectives.
Yeah.
And so their date ends on the roof where with the class, which I feel like is very like reminiscent of The Office. Isn't there like some kind of date that happens on the roof
Mhm.
in The Office as
Mhm.
well?
There is Jim and Pam, yeah.
It's like a not date that happens up there where they have
Mhm.
like grilled cheese or something.
Mhm.
I think that's a real classic sitcom date trope is like we're on the roof for some reason. I don't know. What did you think about the end of their date?
Um, the part where Holt calls Jake and is like,
Oh
"Hey, we
yeah.
have a relief
Hmm.
team
Hmm.
ready for you." And then Jake, so Jake and Amy had just finished or had just started trying to practice
Hmm.
throwing nuts into their mouth. Okay,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
that's
how
what they were.
that
They were throwing
sounds.
nuts into their mouth. Yes.
But he looked at Amy and he was like, "You know what? It's okay. We're already here. We
Hmm.
like this kind of stuff. We'll stay."
Because he wants
So
he
he
wants
wants
to
to
stay
stay with
on. He
her.
wants to stay with it. But I think the point is the date wasn't over.
Yeah.
So even if the stakeout is over, now she can put those stupid dress back on. They can go
Yeah.
to Times Square. The choir can sing to her. But the thing is, he didn't want to go back to the fake date.
Because he didn't want to make her feel bad.
He wanted to be on the good date, which is them just
Yeah.
hanging out on the
Yeah.
rooftop.
Yeah.
throwing nuts at each other's faces.
Yeah.
And I said it like that on purpose.
Yes.
Sarah, did you know that nuts have no fat?
They have a lot of fat. It's actually the opposite as
I
what
know.
Amy said.
Anything else to say about oh, we didn't really talk too much about this. I guess we should address it. This was another thing that I really loved deeply, even though I don't love this whole Charles Rosa storyline. I'm really looking forward to getting away from that soon. But he says in his truth telling that he didn't know who he was jumping in front of. He just saw a gun and he saw the vest, the NYPD vest, and he was like, I gotta protect this person on my team. And I found that to be really touching. I don't know how you felt about that.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah. And then he said that he will take her out on a date eventually. And I was like,
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anything else to say about the bet?
It was great. I mean, I love rom-com storylines, so
it was really a fun. definite rom-com. And all the B stories were really good too, with like Charles and also like Terry's wife being there, and like she didn't know that Terry was coming back on the force, and Holt keeps messing up trying to fix things, and he keeps saying the wrong things and pissing the wife off, and all of that was very good. I enjoyed all of the B stories. It was a really solid episode. Okay, so yeah, let's just move on to the Ebony Falcon, right? Episode 14. The Ebony Falcon is about Terry's return to the field. Yeah. So what did you think of this episode?
I thought it was cute. Sorry. No, I think that Terry is adorable and not him scary so at much. All. So when he's adorable. Like talking about his daughters and let me put the little giraffe between them. They like to rest their little heads on him. God. Like, oh, I squealed.
You purred. Actually, listeners, she purred. Terry, Terry Crews was like talking about his daughters and like putting this little stuffed animal thing fluffy between them, and Sarah literally purred. Like you couldn't handle the cuteness. I love Terry Crews. He's a treasure. I love him so much. I enjoy, and so this was a episode that was heavily focused on him, but also his relationship with Jake, because Jake is seeing, I guess, Terry's family for the first time in a long time, at least. Like, I guess he saw the kids when they were babies, but he only really sees Terry at work. He doesn't spend a lot of time at his house, but now he's there. By the way, we talked about this because listeners, we watched these episodes together last night. We talked about this last night, but you can actually see the princess castle that Terry's building like earlier in the season, like in the scene where they're at his house, which I thought was really cute. But like Jake is seeing Terry with his girls, and Jake has a very visceral reaction to this. He's doesn't,
he doesn't want Terry to get hurt, because then because the line that makes him like think that is Terry told the girls when he's putting them to sleep, Daddy will never leave you. And so he's like, this man cannot be in the field.
I know. It was so sweet. Jake, as usual, Jake's misguided, wanting to do the right thing. He is worried about Terry, and so Terry's okay with being back in the field, but Jake isn't. So that's the complication, is that they're on this like undercover operation where Terry has to pretend to be like a trainer, like a personal trainer for like a person they're trying to like bust this steroid drug ring or something, right?
Yeah.
And Jake just keeps messing it up because he's overly cautious.
He doesn't tell Terry about certain things, and kind of like gets in the way of Terry doing his job because he doesn't want Terry to be put in harm's way.
Right.
But then when he finally gets like when Terry gets fully involved, like and shows what he can do, Jake is like, wow, like he can really take care of himself. Like, I'm not
Mhm.
afraid for you, I'm afraid of you.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's this whole scene where cuz like Jake is like stepping in when he shouldn't, which is a common Jake thing, I think, is for Jake to like step in when he shouldn't step in, and he like gets some information but he doesn't share it with Terry, and so Terry shows up at their the sting, I guess. I don't know the lingo. I'm not a detective. But he shows up and he's really pissed off, and so he boxes with Jake and punches him in the face a couple of times. I
Those are so
feel
painful.
I feel like we're gonna have to watch the bloopers, Sarah, when we get to the
Yeah.
bloopers, but I feel like I've seen a blooper from season 1 where I think Terry actually clips Andy in the face. I feel like I've seen this blooper where he accidentally taps him in the nose a little too close.
Oh, no.
But I could be wrong. That may be a different blooper. Tweet at us at AminiPod. Did I make this up? Or did Terry Crews actually punch Andy Samberg in the face at some point during this episode? But yeah, then we have the daddy issues, and I know that Lonely Island didn't write this episode, but Jake and his daddy issues are like really on display here, because the big
Yeah.
thing that we find out at the end isn't it isn't just that he's worried about Terry and the girls and Terry not being there for the girls. It's that Jake is reminded of how his dad wasn't there for him, and
Yeah.
he doesn't want to do that to these kids. And that, I thought, took it to another level where it's like
Yeah.
really, like, I think some good character development for both Jake and Jake and Terry and their relationship. I thought that was all very
Yeah.
sweet. Do you want to talk a bit about the B story?
Gina and
Gina.
the beanie.
Yeah, so
The
there's a B&E.
breaking and entering.
Yeah, there's a B&E at Gina's. At first we weren't even sure if it really happened. We
I
thought
was thinking that she like stole her own stuff because she was playing it so like cold and so like this happened and I'm just pissed about this stuff.
I know,
Like
she's
it
like,
just made
my
me think like
emotional value of this is $7 million.
yeah.
And it's like her jumpsuits and shit.
Yeah.
Which
The stuff they listed that were the things she lost were great jokes.
Oh, so good. I wish I could remember more of them besides the
Yeah.
jumpsuits. But yeah, so she gets broken into, and Rosa and Amy are helping. By the way, anytime you get Rosa, Amy, and Gina together, I love it. Like, I just love it. I just feel like we don't have enough like women like in scenes together on television. We just
Yeah.
don't, or in movies
No.
even. And this show is so good. I gotta hand it to them. They're so good about giving
Yeah.
these women storylines with each other that deepen their relationship, and it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime we have the three of them together, I love it. So they go to try to help out, but they can't really they're like, it's a standard B&E. We don't know who
Yeah.
did it. There's no print matches.
And she's so upset and,
She
she
like
files a complaint with
Mhm.
Holt, and Holt's
Yeah.
like, "Why do I have a complaint about you guys?"
Mhm.
Like
But what I love about this is it's exactly what you said. Like, she's so casual about it. She seems so casual about it, and like it doesn't bother her that she's had all this stuff stolen. She's just annoyed. It seems like she's annoyed, right? But then Holt, who knows Gina very well, because Holt has always seen something deeper in Gina than anyone else on the force, except for maybe Jake. Like, I know later we get more into Jake and Gina's friendship, but like at this point they haven't really talked about them really even being friends, I don't think, so much. But Holt really has them step back and look, and he's like, hey, think about all the things that have happened this week with Gina and what she's said to you, and look underneath the surface of what she's saying.
it's
And
very wise of Holt.
I know, and it made me so sad for her, because like she's worried that she needs to get a gun, and she's
Yeah.
going over to Amy's place and baking bread because she's afraid to be alone
Yeah.
at her house.
And she's very defensive, and so she
Mhm.
seems very tough,
Mhm.
and so no one would suspect that she is actually scared except for Holt.
Holt
'Cause he's
can
a
see,
little sensitive bunny.
he sees right through it. And I just thought that was really sweet. And also I feel like I feel like we've all known people in our lives who put up that exterior of like toughness, where they're like, I'm fine and nothing bothers me. But like a lot of them are some of the most sensitive people. And the reason that they're so tough is because they've been hurt and they've learned to build this like shell around themselves to protect themselves. And so I
Mhm.
thought that was really, really good. I enjoyed that a lot. But I don't know, did you have anything else to say about this episode? There's one last thing I wanted to talk about, but is there anything else that you wanted to say about this episode?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I think
What
that
do you
pretty
have?
much covered it. Well, what I wanted to say was, at one point, Jake asks Terry, if you were going to be a vacation, what kind of vacation would you be?
Yeah, it's a cute line.
And
Yeah.
so I imagined that this is a game they maybe play in the writer's room, and that's how it ended
Mhm.
up in here. But Sarah, I wanted to ask you, if you were going to be a vacation, what kind of vacation would you be?
I already know the answer because I thought about that last night
Yeah.
when they asked that question. I would be Disney World.
Oh my God, please tell me. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just be like the most ma ma magical place on earth.
It's true. It's true. You are magical.
Aw, that's sweet.
You are super magical. I feel like now that I reflect upon your answer and also what my answer is, I feel like it maybe says something about what people feel about themselves. What was Jake and Terry's? Terry's
Terry's
was
was
a
a
lake.
lake house,
Yeah,
a
Terry,
lake
a lake
vacation.
vacation, and I don't remember what Jake's was.
I don't remember what did he even say what his
I
vacation
think he
was?
did. So I was thinking if I would, because I was trying to think of like, what does this mean? Like, am I the embodiment of the vacation? And that's like kind of what I took that to mean. So I was like, okay, I guess I would have to be one of those like, you know, Florida Panhandle party weekend vacations where it's like there's probably too many people there. It's really loud. You have a really great time, but it's messy. It's like really messy. And maybe like afterwards you're like, I just really I need a vacation from my vacation. That's the vacation I feel like I would be like, it's fun and loud
Aw,
and maybe a little much. That's
aw.
that's how I see
Yeah, I
myself,
don't
I
know.
think.
I don't know if I see myself as the most magical place on earth, but I just love Disney World, and it's very like
So
creative
is it supposed to
and
be your ideal vacation?
colorful.
Your ideal vacation? Oh,
No, I
okay.
just think it's colorful, and I'm colorful,
Mhm.
and it's goofy, and it's cute, and it's wholesome,
Mhm.
and um it's pricey. I
I
don't
I
I don't
think you're all of those things, Sarah. You are all
know.
of those things. Wow, that was really fun. Okay, I think that's it for the episodes. I don't really have anything else to say. Well, I did write down a couple of my favorite cutaways.
Okay.
My first favorite cutaway is Charles in the elevator being too truthful to Holt, where he's like talking about how he doesn't I don't have anything to say to you. I feel like you think I'm boring. Oh, I'm going to pretend to get a phone call now. That was very
Yeah.
funny, and I love that they brought it back with Holt later where he's
Yeah,
pretending
where
to
he
get.
used that because he
Yeah.
was, like, so uncomfortable. He was
Yeah.
like, "I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I have to use this."
My other favorite cutaway is when Amy talks about her worst date, and it was the dentist, and the dentist is using the utensils at dinner to examine the inside of her mouth. That
Yeah.
was so funny.
She, like, reaches over and he's like
She thinks he's gonna feed her something,
Yes.
and he's just looking inside her mouth. It was so
Yeah.
funny.
Didn't he
Um,
say, like, it was a deal breaker, her mouth? Like, the inside of
yes,
her mouth? It was like, "No, no, no."
no, no, no. Um, the worst cutaway yet again was a cutaway to Hitchcock and Scully, where they're shoving thumbtacks in their heels. I was like,
Yeah.
please make it
No,
stop.
I looked away.
It was horrifying. Okay. Are you ready for moments of thirst?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. My moments of thirst.
Yes.
Um, Jake when he is in his boxing outfit.
Yes, I wrote that down too, Sarah. We have the same moment of thirst. I call it Jake in
Mhm.
his gym clothes. I just really liked the
Yeah.
whole outfit. It was all working
Yeah.
for me.
And there were moments in the bet that were very cute too.
Yeah, a lot.
I didn't have a moment that I wrote down specifically. Maybe no, there were just lots of moments that he was
Mhm.
adorable.
He was
Um,
very adorable in that episode.
I would like to make an honorable mention, moment of thirst
Mhm.
being Amy's hair during the first like, when the bet is made.
Yeah.
Like, when the bet is made, her
Yeah.
hair is just, like, cascading, like, it's
Oh,
so
yeah. She looks
perfect.
amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, man. Melissa Fumero. Oh my god. She's a queen. Um, yeah, I too was thirsting after Jake and his boxing outfit or his gym clothes. The whole gym outfit was working for me.
Mhm.
He had a lot of soft hoodies. We were back in our soft
Yes.
hoodie
Oh,
era.
I forgot about that one where the hoodie is like over his
Yes.
collar. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I love it. And then lastly, my just general thirst for, I just love young Jake. He's such a brat. He's very bratty, and there's something like I just it's saucy and I
brat.
like it. He's a brat and I like it. And those are our moments of thirst.
As you would imagine, I'm normally up for pretty much anything in the bedroom, but I can't tell if what happened was weird or sexy.
Is it time for trivia?
This is dumb, but
I can't wait.
I found this is more a joke about how this article is dumb.
Oh, great.
So I found this article that is basically Andy Samberg teeth transformation before and after.
No.
So
is this from one of those like Weekly World News type papers?
No, it's from a wellness site.
There's no way he was involved in this.
No, of course not. So the transformation is basically essentially there's not a lot of copy in this, but it boils down to Andy Samberg had some teeth issues. We all know he had the gaps when he was on SNL. And between the first season and second season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he got braces. And so you notice in season 2 on, the gaps are gone. And I hadn't even noticed that, but apparently they're gone now.
Okay.
So,
this is something we're going to have
to
monitor closely as we transition from season 1 to season 2. Because this article might be, did you take photo comparisons and look at them or?
Yeah. No, it's real. It's real. And like, what's funny is like, it's obvious and like, we have seen him on both sides, and yet I never made the connection that he got teeth work done. But anyway, I just loved this like teeth transformation. It was just like
transformation. It's a teeth makeover.
So dramatic.
Slowest and most boring makeover montage ever. It's just Andy putting in his retainer every night. Just watching the teeth slowly come together. Wow, okay. Well, I did not know that. That was a surprising piece of trivia. And I guess we're just gonna have to be on the lookout for that when we come out of season 1 into season 2. Thank you, Sarah.
Oh, you look awesome. Come the fuck upstairs.
Okay.
But wait, I have to warn you about something.
What?
If you come up here, I'm gonna tie you to my bed and keep you for at least 3 days. I'm just in that kind of mood.
All right, are we ready to find out what we're gonna watch next time?
Yeah.
Okay. So I already have the wheel up and all of the let me get back to you. I have the wheel up and all of the things. Okay, so can you see the wheel?
Yes.
Okay, so on the wheel this week, listeners, we have Patterson, which a lot of our listeners have been wanting us to watch. They want us to watch Patterson. It's like high on the list. Hungry Hearts, Frances Ha, which is that Greta Gerwig? Wait, is that Greta Gerwig or is that Noah Baumbach?
No, that's Noah Baumbach.
Noah Baumbach, but Greta Gerwig.
I remember
because
I was like,
yeah, but it's like real. It's like young hot frat boy looking Adam. So I'll take it. And then on the wheel for the first time, Girls.
Okay,
it's time. We've put Sackler on the wheel, you guys. It's time.
Sackler on the wheel.
Sackler is on the wheel. So let's see. I'm so nervous. Like I'm nervous, Sarah. I'm so nervous. All right, I'm going to spin it. Patterson! Oh my god! Guys, we're watching Patterson next. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
Good things.
All right, let me hang on. Let me come out of here and let me actually give you a log line. I can't believe we're finally watching Patterson. I'm really worried now. What if you don't like it? I'm so now I'm scared that you won't like it because I felt like we've been building up this movie for you, building it up and building it up and building it up, and now I'm worried that you're not going to
I'll
like it.
try to
Well,
like
don't
it.
just be you. That's all that matters. Okay. So Patterson, here's the description on IMDb. A quiet observation of the triumphs and defeats of daily life, along with the poetry evident in its smallest details.
What does it mean?
Written and directed by Jim Jarmusch.
Of course.
Oh, you don't like Jim Jarmusch?
No.
Well, which of his movies have you seen?
The Dead Don't Die
Yeah.
and The Last Lovers Left Alive.
Oh, I actually want to see that one, but I haven't.
I
Well,
don't know,
this
you
one
might like it if you like his stuff.
I do
but-
like Jim Jarmusch. I've seen Coffee and Cigarettes. I've seen a lot of his other films of Jim Jarmusch's that I think are more like Patterson. Like The Dead Don't Die had a Jim Jarmusch flavor for sure, but it felt like more like a genre film, like a horror kind of genre, which is a lot of his other movies have this like indie slice of life kind of feel, and which there is some of, I think, that present in The Dead Don't Die, but I think Patterson is very much more like your slice of life kind of movie. So well, don't go into it thinking it's going to be like those other movies, because I'm afraid that will make you ready to not like it. Like you got to go in accepting that this is going to, I think it's different to me, but I don't know. I can't predict what you will and won't like, but I do feel like, well, I won't say how I feel about Patterson. I'll wait until.
Well,
but
there
it's
is
universally
one thing for
liked.
sure. There's one thing for sure. I will like Adam's performance, because I've never seen a film or TV episode that I didn't think he had a great performance.
I mean,
even Annette, he had a fantastic performance in Annette. I just didn't like the film.
True.
So like, I don't like some films, but he always does a great job.
I think. I hope you'll enjoy Patterson. That's all I'll say. I hope you'll enjoy Patterson, and I think it's really a special film, and it really is. I think Patterson, his name is Patterson, the character. I think Patterson is a special character, and he's really beloved in the fan community, and there's reasons for that. So I'm actually like really looking forward to watching this with you. Like I think this is one of the movies that. And again, I don't want to build it up too much, because like then if you hate it, I'm going to feel really bad. But this is one of the movies, Sarah, that when we decided to do this podcast, that I was looking forward to watching with you the most.
And this is a good film that we could watch like with my partner if he wanted to come over.
I think so.
Because I don't know, listeners, we have a history of watching really depressing podcast films with him.
It seems like every time we watch a movie with your partner, it's fucking depressing. Well, that's not true. Silence, we watched with him. I'm still feeling apologetic about that. But didn't we also watch The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, which wasn't depressing?
We did. It wasn't depressing.
Weird.
It was a little bit weird. We also watched The Report.
Oh yeah, that one was a slog. Did he watch Midnight Special with us, or was that just you?
I think that was just me.
Okay. So yeah, that was The Report and Silence. Not good. Not good the representations. But yeah, Patterson I think would be a great one for him to watch. I think he would enjoy. I think there's a lot to chew on as well. There's a lot to chew on. And I'm already wanting to talk about it, and I can't because we have to wait until the next episode. So listeners, that's what we'll be watching next. Sarah, did you have anything you want to plug? Plug for your Insta?
I have an Instagram account called Hedgehogs Bodpos. It's HEDGEHODGES_BODPOS. And it's basically where I post pictures of myself in makeup and out of makeup, but with glasses and sometimes not in glasses and in clothes and always in clothes. Yeah. I'm sorry, like it's never not in clothes.
That kind of account. It's not that kind of account. Yeah.
No. And it's about body positivity and my journey of self-acceptance, and it's just about like looking cute and feeling cute and being positive about yourself and loving yourself.
I love that.
So yeah.
So join in the love. And listeners, we always, I can't say it enough how much I enjoy like talking to people about Adam and Andy and what they're up to, and like sharing cool pictures and news and like talking about the episodes. So, if you're not already engaging with us in that way, I absolutely love it. And so you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Adam and Andy Podcast, and you can find us on Twitter at Adam Andy Pod. I love this fandom. It feels really good to be a part of it, and I just really enjoy connecting with you guys. So reach out to us, tell us what you thought of this episode, and I'm really looking forward to talking about Patterson. I just can't wait. This is like, from this, The Bet, which is, I think, now that I'm thinking about it, like one of my favorite episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and now we're going to be talking about Patterson. It's just like, I'm feeling all the warm fuzzies right now.
Yeah. Nice.